Finally, a week of proper progress, right? So again, I set the goals and I managed to actually complete them for once. So custom enchants are done, and we'll probably spend the majority of this episode focusing on them and going through everything, right? Now that they're functional for range and magic. But I have finished this, that's done. This, that's done. I need a yellow, so we'll do that first. Dragon eggs are done. Items are still, if I want to add more items, I'll add more items. But I've also started this one. Yes, right? So that is looking significantly better. And hopefully this week's goal will be to knock out all of these, because these should also be somewhat easy to do. The decorated pots, right, is more me just doing the loot tables because I've been a bit lazy, because loot tables are a little bit annoying to write out. And then we can start working on some of the final features. We'll probably just do them in order, right, because that's also probably the level of difficulty to implement them. So custom beacons will probably be the easiest. Difficulty, debatable, right, whether or not bosses will be, just because there's a plethora of bosses that I do want to add. I think 16 is the running goal, right? And then village activities, there's some duality to this, right? Some stuff for normal villages and then stuff for some special hub items, right? Because I think I've conceptualized what I want the dungeon system to be, and it will involve a hub area. But yeah, we will finish going over custom enchants today, and then we'll probably tackle these two and another one, and then go over the magic system. I think that should be a decent way to break it up. But, right, enchants, nice and easy. Basically, we can just have fun showing them off, because they are all done, and we can just go over the duality a bit more. Ethereal, actually, this is the first one that I do want to show off, because it is, pretty nifty. What we will do, though, is A, clear the weather, because I hate goddamn thunder, but for whatever reason, it happens every few seconds. And time set day, just in case. Right, then we'll hop over to survival. 27 levels, that's perfect. So, ethereal. This is probably one of the most powerful enchantments that I've come up with. Right, so you equip it on, and all you have to do is sprint. And yeah, you go into spectator mode for a little bit, and then, ta-da, you pop out into survival. But you can see that my experience went from 27 to 25. We can do it again, double tap sprint. We're now in spectator. We can even stay in a block, but look at that. We get teleported out, and we lost another level of experience. So depending on the level is how long you can stay in spectator mode, right? So we can just use it as a warp and a quick dash, but then you'll eventually teleport out of it. So as long as you have the experience to burn, I think it's pretty fun. Just be careful of when you land, right? There's no decent way for me to do the timer, I think. But, oh, that was bad. No, I'm not gonna make it. The worst thing, too, is that was all the items that I wanted to go through. Yeah. Well, okay. So that's the downside of that. But anyway, onwards. The big thing with it, though, I might end up increasing the experience cost. I think it's like 100, but 100 points at that point, bad. Don't try me out. 100 points at level like 20 plus or something like that is nothing, right? So it's a bit OP, especially if there's no cooldown. So I might make it a really ridiculous cost, or I might implement a cooldown system specifically for it. Otherwise, yeah, it's just a fun enchant, right? Okay, I need to recreate items, annoyingly. So we need, don't worry about the top row just yet. We need these 4 items so that we can unlock the slots, right? And again, just to go over it, shards of power, we can manufacture, right? There are ways to craft them. If we go through the advancements, it should detail, right? So echoes of power remains, perhaps dragon's fire could unravel the secrets. Seems the shard seeks greater heat, thirst for experience, even colder, and then absorbs some energy from where it originally came from, right? And that is how you unlock the shards of power. So these are renewable, if you will. The ancient eyes come from decorated pots. The souls will come from bosses, so it'll be soul of X. And then the last one, the Ash of Creation, will be from some pretty hard goals, and they'll probably be one-offs. I don't know if I'll have a way for the player to get them without doing, say, X achievement or something like that, or defeating a really hard boss, just because these are the stage of power that I think we don't necessarily need to get to, right? So, for instance, let me use wood, it's easier, right? Shard of power, accessible. This is the wrong thing. No, I don't have experience. We should also do that, right? Game mode, survival. If I give myself, I'll give myself 30 levels, right? So that we can, use a rough estimate, because 30 levels is, the big goal for a lot of people. So 30 levels, we can chuck the Shard of Power onto the sword, use the Shard of Power, use 2 levels, and we get a empty slot, right? We can then use the Ancient Eyes, do the same thing. It's going to cost the same amount of experience, which is points, not levels. That's a big thing to remember, right? And then we do the Soul as well, and of course the Ash. Now, obviously that unlocks 4 slots, and 4 slots are going to be significantly powerful. Also, don't worry about the inventory just yet, but this is the end game equipment that I've decided with, right? So we have the 2 satchels, we have a slot here, and a slot here. We'll get to them one day. But yeah, 4 slots, right? So you can have 4 different enchants. So for instance, that's 1, 2, 3. Somehow we got all epic, right? So you can have Wayfarer, Gravity, Unseen, and Enfeeble, all on the one item. Now it will cost experience again, a bit less than the initial, right? But still a decent chunk. So all this is going to sink your experience. Remember, we started at 30, and now we're down to 17, right? And if you're constantly remaking equipment and doing all that, it's going to really weigh down. But we have Wayfarer, Gravity, Unseen, and Enfeeble. So Weakening Blow, Ambush, Crushing Strike, and then Wayfarer 2. So Wayfarer 2 is a passive. I should say generic, that's probably a better term, so it doesn't have anything in brackets. I believe Wayfarer is if we sprint, right? So if we sprint, we get some hunger, but as you can see, we're much faster than normal. So essentially, you can run at a greater speed than normally, but it is going to eat through your hunger and experience. As you can see, it's counting down experience a lot quicker than just, sprinting normally, right? As long as we continuously sprint, it should continuously stay active. I don't want to pick all that junk up. Right, but we will, again, lose the hunger. It's not a whole bunch of hunger, but it will whittle down. The main cost for all these enchantments are going to be the experience, right, so it's fine. Is my saturation really this high? It's hunger 3 for a few seconds, but it's not depleting in the slightest. There we go, that was the first little shake. Interesting. And yeah, so then we have Ambush. I believe Ambush is sneaking. Yes, there we go. Nice and simple, right? Ambush just turns you invisible. Yeah. And then the other 2, I'm in the weird camera mode. Yeah, the last 2 are Strike and Blow. So Blow is procced off of a crit, whereas Strike is procced off of just a strike. Now, the big thing is, everything is luck-based, right? If it's not a generic or passive ability or how you want to, if it's not bound to sprinting or sneaking, it's going to require luck, right? So the more luck you have, the more likely are you to proc the different effects. So for instance, I'm going to go back into creative, even though they cost experience, right? Everything costs experience. It's all the same cost. So for instance, I think this will cost 40 points of experience because there's a 4 different enchants. If you only had 1, cost 10. But we'll grab out a husk and we can do the 2 different attacks, right? So normal attack, no proc. Pretty sure our chance right now is 10%. So it's not that great. We need to do a crit. Actually, we got the proc on the crit because you can tell by the particle effects, right? What we got there as well. Is that not connected properly? But we also got gravity off of that hit. Either way, if I go to infinite luck, well, not infinite, but 99 luck. So 99 true, and I will bring up the scoreboard just so we can see it. Set display, sidebar, so luck check, right? Our luck is now at 1,000, meaning that every time we hit, gravity, right? Every time we hit, gravity. Every time we crit, weakening blow, and gravity, basically. Okay, but if I were to clear the luck, so clear, that is the wrong way to do it again. Effect clear, we're now back to 100, meaning that we have a 10% chance, right? So every point of luck that you get through potion effects, through items, because there are the tinkering systems, remember, we're going to increase our chance to trigger the different effects. You can tell off of the particles that we got on that last hit, unfortunately. Well, I guess we weren't close enough to trigger it. There we go. Yeah, so that's neat, right? We'll move on to shields and bows, right? And actually, let me grab out the trident, because this should work if I've done everything correctly. We'll just do 1 slot on everything. Hopefully I have the experience for it. I might not. I might burn through it all. Yeah, I think I burned through my experience. Experience. Set us. I'll go back to 100 just to make it nice and easy. Okay, so we do a shield. Done. We'll do a bow. We won't actually give the trident an enchant slot, because that's not exactly what I want to show off. But we're looking for something. Reckless, that doesn't help. There are 30 enchants overall, but 15 of them have different effects depending on what you actually apply to. And we're getting, from the looks of it, all the passive ones. Oh, and there's the red shards as well, which are attribute shards. Harvester, nope. We're looking just for like poison, ethereal, that is mistyped. I need to fix that. Warding, come on. Who knew randomization was this annoying? Boost, that's another attribute. That's another attribute. Just give me flame, unyielding. No. There are like 6 actual effects. Earth, that'll do, right? So we have earth, we'll make stack, and we'll put it on a shield first. Done. And we'll put it on a bow. So this is the duality. Well, actually, it's more than that, right? Because armor, range, shield, and tools, they're the 4 different. But we have Earth 2, Earthly Bulwark, and Earth 2 Imbue Projectile. Right, so pretty simple. Once we shoot, we're not at the correct luck again, though. So I need to find that. Right, so now we're at 1,000. The arrow should have particles. Seems like it's not, though. This is Imbue. Yeah, this one's weird. This one does need some more testing. I think it's the rate at which they fire. But if we do data, get entity e type equals arrow, what we're looking for is identifiers, right? Because basically the whole system is I just tag it, and then depending on the arrow tag, when it hits something, it's going to proc an effect. So nearest, and then limit equals 1. As we can see, it has no tags, it looks like, right? Yeah, so this is not being tagged. Oh, why is that? Alright, I'll get back to that. So we'll hold off on the Trident as well. But Earth Bulwark, if we hold down, right, you can see it does little particles. We'll spawn in some husks, right? So after a few seconds of blocking, it's now going to do some damage and summon the dripstone on everyone. Right? The whole idea is you have to maintain your block, which is harder than you think. Because if you get hit, your block goes on cooldown, and you do have that little time lag, right? So as soon as you hold the shield, it's going to be a second before it actually activates. And then it's anything in front of you, it's going to take damage and get hit by those dripstone, right? So pretty neat. Again, it drains experience as it goes, so be careful. Everything costs experience, so you really need to farm experience. But you may have also noticed that all of these are experience bottles, right? So the idea is after you find the ones you actually want, you can still prop them to get experience back, right? So that should help alleviate the need for so much experience. Now, the bow, I am very curious because I have not really tweaked anything for it to not be working. So it was working, right? In fact, I think I did some shorts on it. Runechant player / I think it's enchant. Yeah, so they're all there. Enchant / range, right? They all look to be there. No, in fact, the one that is not there is the one we're looking for, right? Earth is not there. Okay, let me fix that up. Weirdly, I just forgotten to actually make the tagging system. But it does seem like it's still not there, right? But if we go back to the functions, it should be. Runechant. Oh, if I could type it properly. I had to pick such a hard starting word, right? Runechant, enchant / range. Earth is there now, right? So that should be fine. Let's just shoot an arrow. And no, that was some particles, I'm pretty sure, right? Yes, it's got it. The particles are just pretty faint with the crit particle. No, you can see it going off there if I shoot it nice and long, right, without the crit particles. But let's see. Yep, there we go, it is working. So anything you shoot, if they don't die... Oh, okay, not you. Anyone still alive? Why are we doing it in one hit? Okay, this is annoying. I need to set up the training dummy, right? There we go. Right, so you hit it, and then it drops 2 dripstone. Although, in saying that, it's obviously very hard to land. And I should probably make them not drop items. Although, is being able to farm dripstone really that bad? I'll think about it. Oh. Oh. Why? Is there dead zones? Is that what's going on? Right, if I shoot down, is... Ah, okay, so there is a dead zone for the tagging. So I do need to check that and fix it. No, it still has it. But I do know as soon as it hits the ground, the effect no longer works. Yeah, so that works. Interesting. Hit and a miss. But yeah, so that's the range system. Now for the range themselves, there are 2 different ones. I think we might have gotten 1. No, from the looks of it. No, it looks like we didn't. There is a... just shooting, if that makes sense, right? So when you shoot a bow, I'm doing this really badly. When you shoot a bow, you get effects. Right? Was that so hard to say? Jeez. Anyway, Trident, right? We stick the bow in our offhand. We can now, yeah, do you see that? We can proc it on the Trident. So the way every enchant works is it will check every single slot, right? So if you have multiple enchants, you have them across all slots. If they are applicable to whatever action you're doing, so for instance, the imbue projectile is obviously applicable to throwing a trident, not swinging a trident, blech, then it's going to work, right? So there's lots of combinations for you to try out. Can I... Oh, I think that finished him off. Pretty powerful in trident, right? Yeah, because trident also doesn't have that much knockback. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So basically all 15 enchants you can get on a bow work with a trident. So if you have the duality, you have a bow in your offhand, trident in your main hand, you can have all the melee enchants on the trident, and then you have all the ranged enchants on a bow, and you can capitalize on both of them, right? Which I think is pretty fun and neat. Now, the last little section is sort of the startings of magic. So what we will do is, I will start from scratch. So we'll clear everything. We'll once again clear the annoying weather. I should really just set up a command block. We will grab out a spell book. I just want a malevolent one, right? Any will do, right? Any at all. Where's the normal arc? There we go. Okay. So of course, spell books are enchantable. Now, don't freak out, because when I swap to the enchanted book, it will also have something fancy, something that took me a little bit to actually implement and probably delayed the week, but somehow I still managed. So we'll do this first, and you can see it there, right? Yeah, there is now a proper icon, right? I've done it in the slot next to the offhand, so you can still have a shield, still have something in your offhand, but yeah, you now have a little GUI to show you casting. So you can see it charging up as I hold down the right hand trigger, and then that little bar on the other side is a quick cast, right? So in this case, it doesn't actually consume the quick cast. This is probably the worst book to shut off, but you can see it advances our normal charge, right? So you can quick cast with this tome and then go into a quicker normal attack. And if I grab out one of these books, it'll swap to blue, but this should use the quick cast. Yeah, you can see it go gray there. So if you use the quick cast, we can't actually activate it anymore, and it has to recharge. Now, in terms of the actual enchants, right? Because it does have an empty slot, all of these crystals work towards giving it a extra quick cast effect, right? So we do that. Our tome now has momentum quick cast, meaning that the quick cast now has an additional effect. What is this one actually doing? Did I not link them up? Oh, they should be linked up. Let me just double check. My bad. I believe I messed up. Yep, the sequencing. Right. So we get speed, haste, because it's momentum. But our little bar on the left-hand side there is going to take quite a while to actually recharge, right? So this is a decent spell, especially if you're, say, mining, right? Or, just exploring. You can proc it, you can get your effect, but then you will have to wait, a sizable cooldown to actually re-trigger it again. I believe I should be able to show the scoreboard. Objective, set display. Oh, it's back anyway there. I think it's quick cast. Is it just quick cast? I think it's just quick cast, right? Yeah, so that's going to count back up. Once it reaches 0, you get a quick cast charge, and that has to get back to 1, right? So it has to cycle through twice. The second time is only going to be 5 seconds. It's complicated, to put lightly, right? The way I've set up the system, but, it should be fairly balanced. The more enchants you take, the longer the cooldown's going to be, but obviously the more upside. Right, so that wasn't so bad, was it? Well, you can probably see, right, if you look down at the little bar. Anyway, that will mark the end of the enchants, I think, right? We will save what these are for later, because they are part of the inventory slot, and they are sort of connected to the enchants, but they're also their own thing. And then next time, I think we'll tackle the magic stuff, right? Since we're starting that with, obviously, the quick cast, but there will be ways to actually add different spells to the book. Anyway, hope you enjoyed. See ya.